Well, we had the big announcement of the president deciding to run for re-election and kicking that off yesterday. Boy, that was exciting. So what President Biden will try to do is tout a lot of his wins. And one of those is infrastructure, and he's going to be talking about that. He's boasting about the $1 trillion that was dedicated to infrastructure, this bill that he's saying is building a better America. And yet, right now, what we see are major transportation projects that are costing American taxpayers a lot of money, more than was anticipated. And so we have these projects that are billions of dollars that are over budget, and they are years behind schedule. So I'll give you an example. This is probably one of my favorite examples out there. It's the California high-speed rail project. Doesn't benefit a lot of taxpayers across the United States, but the Obama-Biden administration had committed $3.5 billion to this project more than a decade ago. President Trump, he did stop it because it was going over budget, over time frame, and he saved about $1 billion on it. But Biden, President Biden, went back in and restored that money and added another $50 million to it, praising the project as an example of the Build Back Better approach. Supposedly it was shovel ready. Okay, but the reality of this train in California is that it won't be completed for another decade, and it's going to cost $100 billion more than it was anticipated. Okay, folks, it is a literal train wreck. And to hold the Biden administration accountable, I've required the Department of Transportation to keep track of these projects that are $1 billion over budget and they're behind schedule. So this week, I'm doubling down on that, and I am introducing the $1 billion Boondoggle Act, which expands these requirements to every taxpayer-funded project. And I'm also introducing the Put the Brakes on the Boondoggles Act, which brings runaway trains like the California high-speed rail project to a halt. Folks, we can't keep pumping pork out there. We've actually got to have some accountability in this administration.
Hello, friends. So did you know that Republicans may block a key piece of legislation that would provide millions of Americans with financial aid? Democrats are trying to step in to stop this from happening. Several state lawmakers have put forward a new plan to address inflation. My dear friends, can you please make sure that you watch until the end of this video? Also, I will be announcing several winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. A bill to provide a stimulus check worth up to $500 for those who filed their 2021 and 2022 tax return has passed in the Georgia House of Representatives. This is a renewal of a tax credit enacted last year that kicked in when both 2020 and 2021 tax returns were submitted. So now it is up to the Georgia Senate to determine whether millions of Americans will see between $250 and $500 tacked onto their tax refund. The bill passed in the House by a huge margin, 170 to 2, which indicates a high chance of passing in the upper chamber. The extension of this credit was a key pillar of Republican Governor Brian Kemp's re-election campaign that he won in November, with Georgia voters delivering him the victory. Governor Kemp is working to make good on these commitments. The amount distributed depends on one's filing status and whether they have at least one dependent in their care. This means single filers without dependents can receive $250. Then married couples who file joint returns will receive up to $500. One catch is that the size of the tax credit cannot be larger than the size of the refund before the credit will be added on top. Now that bill has been adopted in the House of Representatives. It will head to the Senate. A vote can be expected in the coming weeks. President Biden's student loan agenda would be all but doomed by the United States debt legislation that was passed by the GOP House. Republicans see it as a victory for taxpayers. Democrats say it will hurt the economy and block college students who need financial aid. The GOP would cancel both of Biden's marquee student debt proposals, a one-time cancellation of up to $20,000 for more than 40 million Americans, and an updated loan repayment plan that could slash monthly payments for millions. It would also lift a pause on federal student loan payments, forcing borrowers into repayment sooner than planned. President Biden has threatened to veto the legislation, and his student debt cancellation plan is seen as untouchable by some Senate Democrats. Some of the strongest champions of cancellation have included Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Bernie Sanders. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle generally agree that the student loan system is broken, but they have differing approaches to fixing it. The big issue has become a lightning rod in recent years, amid rising college costs and a national student debt total that now surpasses $1.6 trillion. For Republicans, the fight offers a fresh opportunity to strike at Biden's student debt policies, which they view as an overreach. Conservative opponents have already had his cancellation temporarily halted in court, and it's now being reviewed by conservative-leaning Supreme Court. Unlike the GOP lawsuits, the new legislation takes aim at the full suite of Biden's student debt plans, including a proposed repayment plan that has mostly avoided the type of scrutiny that mass cancellation has seen. Biden's payment option would mostly replace 4 existing income-driven repayment plans with much more generous terms. So, for example, it would cap monthly payments at 5% of a borrower's income, down from the current 10%, and it would charge nothing for those with yearly incomes of less than $30,000. No interest would be charged as long as payments were made on time. The plan was formally proposed in January, but has yet to be finalized. Under the Republican bill, it would be revoked. Going a step further, the Republican plan would permanently bar the Education Department from issuing any future regulation that raises costs for the federal student aid program. That would amount to a dramatic shift in the way the agency does business. Borrower advocates have criticized the GOP bill, saying it would worsen the student debt crisis. Mike Pierce, the executive director of the Student Borrower Protection Center, has recently stated blocking the new repayment plan would make permanent the trap for any borrower who does not earn enough money to afford their monthly loan bills. That is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My friends, thank you so much for joining me here and for being part of this community. I will be announcing several winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, my friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.